Finally, Manchester City are Premier League champions yet again. I'm so sorry for keeping you guys waiting on this video. If you were indeed waiting at all, life sometimes gets in the way, but I woke up today with a wonderful smile on my face, and guess how I'm celebrating? With a coffee. Something nice and simple. I wish it was more glamorous. I wish I was on a night out or anything like that, but I'm not. This is the practicalities of Manchester City being as good as they are. When you're as good as they are, sometimes you're going to win when you're half asleep and in bed at the same time. How are you doing? 1/3 of the treble, baby. Yeah, my little son Ruben has life very, very good. I was just saying to Nicola downstairs, like, this little lad, he's barely 7 months old and he's already getting his first Manchester City Premier League title. What a entitled little so-and-so. These kids, eh? Anyway, yeah, last night I couldn't go live. I apologise immediately because it was the first night that Nicola had been out. I was on my own looking after Ruben. The very first night. Of course, it had to be last night when it happened. She was out on the hen do. I was putting the son to bed. I didn't want to disturb him because Mummy wasn't there to feed him if he woke up, so I didn't want to do that, unfortunately. So I thought, I can't go live. Typical City, but we're Premier League champions, so who cares? I'm here right now, and I'm buzzing, honestly buzzing. This City side, I tell you what, it just feels nice. It feels nice because we knew that this is a special one. This is a special one for me. It's the three-peat, which of course is absolutely wonderful. Guardiola, a hat-trick of three-peats, by the way, at Barcelona, at Bayern, at Manchester City. Oh my God, what a manager. What an incredible 10 out of 10 manager. I love you, you beautiful, bald bastard. And of course, we're on for a potential treble. If he does a treble in a three-peat season, this guy, rival fans can talk about money and spending and all this kind of stuff all they want to, but I guarantee you, none of those guys are going to do what Manchester City are going to do because their manager is not as good as Guardiola. It really is as simple as that. Honestly, I do sort of wish that and this is my personal thing, and you're entitled to disagree. I sort of wish that we win the league at the ground today. It's just a personal thing. Like, I wanted to be with City fans when that goal goes in and when the full-time whistle goes. It's just that's how I feel. But at the same time, I will never get bored of seeing Manchester City doing a trophy lift. I'll never get bored of, even if I just read it on Twitter, that City have won the league, because it just feels nice. I sat there last night quietly in my living room with a small glass of champagne and celebrated as I stared at a baby monitor. The glamorous life of a new father there for you. But 5 Premier League titles for Phil Foden, by the way. 5 Premier League titles. Guardiola is absolutely astonishing. And by the way, I am not going to join in personally with the whole like digging in on Sterling thing. I know some of you guys want to, but Sterling doesn't seem like a bad guy, just a confused one. And like, I don't personally have any bad feelings towards Sterling. It'll be sort of sweet and like, this is what you could have won way, Raheem. But I don't hate the guy, you know. It's just poor bloke territory. I'm with Harry in that one. Poor bloke, mate. You couldn't have made a worse potential decision there, could you? But let's really dive into the season, what it means. I mean, we talk about this season being potentially at one point an underwhelming one. Manchester City weren't playing well. We were struggling. Our form was terrible. We lost to Southampton in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals, and we were abysmal that day. We truly were abysmal that day. We weren't ourselves. But for me, I feel like there were signs that things were about to change. And do you know where it was for me? It really was. The United game, I know that's really strange, but this is the first game that I saw where I felt like City were actually being themselves. I know we didn't win it that day, but to me, and I'm not sure if anyone else felt that way, in the first half, I thought we came out as such a better team. I thought our football was good. We saw the signs of a new system sort of settling in. And it felt then after that, of course, as well, that we beat Spurs 4-2, and it just felt that was the first time I'd saw us play some football. And that to me felt exciting. And then, of course, it started to really turn around, and that form massively changed. Obviously, we lost to Spurs, but then there was a game as well where we won 3-1 against Arsenal, but to me, it was the Forest 1-1 where I thought, that's actually Manchester City. I know it was only a 1-1 draw in that game, but we battered them. That was a 5-0 victory in anything other than the stats. I mean, look at those stats there. That was the first time when we saw this system here with Bernardo sort of coming into midfield and playing free at the back and so on. That, to me, felt like Manchester City being back. That to me felt pivotal, and everyone was frustrated that day. But I did a video that day afterwards. You can go and watch it, and I know people called me out on this, and probably some of you guys watching now. I said, no, I'm not upset about this because I saw Manchester City today. I saw us play good football, and after that, things just really clicked into gear, and we were fucking good. We were good from that point onwards. We really were. You know, this is this Manchester City side. This is a victory for Guardiola. This is how I feel about it. Of course, it's a victory for Stones, Haaland, Grealish, and the rest of them. But to me, this is a victory for Guardiola. I feel that way because, quite simply, he just fucking set a fire under Manchester City. He ripped out the bad eggs in the dressing room. He said to Cancelo, you're fucking going, mate. You are absolutely unacceptable. He benched Laporte. He was apparently being a bit sulky, but he's been better, by the way, the last few weeks, and I appreciate that change of tone. I don't dislike the pup, by the way. I think he's just a slightly bit mardy, but not a bad egg, just a slightly bit mardy. And anyone who wasn't really putting in, you know, the full capabilities, he put him on the bench. And even Bernardo was in that at first, don't forget. Bernardo was on the bench. Cancelo was on the bench until he went. Walker was. Laporte was. And Guardiola said, stop fucking moaning or you aren't going to play. I'm going to play Rico Lewis and Nathan Ake. Do you know what? It was the best thing he ever did because he played Nathan Ake because he was a good player and Nathan Ake became a great player because he deserved to be there. You know, he played Ake because he was a good person first and foremost and also a very good player, of course. But this was it. And like when he got rid of Cancelo, I feel like that was uprooting such a key part of this team, but it was such a statement to the rest of Manchester City's players. You have to be willing to make big decisions, and Guardiola is the best managers. He did it at Barcelona. He got rid of Eto'o and Zlatan and so on. You know, he got rid of Ronaldinho and Deco and all these great players. And Manchester City got rid of Joe Hart at one point, an absolute legend. He let Yaya disappear into the into the sunset. And now, of course, he said to Cancelo, "I'm sorry, you're great, but no, you cannot do this." Do you know how hard it is? Do you know how hard it is to be that guy? So many managers would have kept Cancelo around, or I don't know, played to their ego. But Guardiola is bigger than any of them. Absolutely, man. What an astonishing manager. An astonishing manager. And I'm going to be honest with you, around January, I didn't think this was possible. But I remember thinking, about a month later, do you know what? We could do this here. And I've got the videos to prove it when I said if we're close to Arsenal, we're going to win this league. And Arsenal fans, if any of you are watching right now, look, we tried to warn you. You're a fucking good side, but you're not a great side. We tried to warn you. You can win the league in the first half of the season. You can't. You can't do that. You kept saying, this is it. We're back. No, it is different. It is different. And as we said time and time again, it's not a quality thing, though it might be in your situation. It's about that mentality. It's about that experience. It's about that pressure. Pressure. Pushing down on me. Absolutely is about that pressure because the big teams know how to handle it. And I told Robbie at AFTV and I told all the other Arsenal fans, I'm sorry, but when it comes around to it, when the games get tiring and the expectations there and there's a tension from the fans and you can see the goal and you're grasping last minute winners, that isn't good for you. It isn't good for you unless you know how to deal with it. And you didn't. I'm sorry. And people could turn around and go, yeah, but City did it under Guardiola. You had like last minute winners and all this kind of stuff, you know. You had with Sterling scoring 2-1 against Southampton and stuff. Do you know what we also had? We also had a World Cup winner in David fucking Silva. We also had Vincent Kompany as our captain. And we also had the quality of, you know, Guardiola, who'd been there and done it a billion times. It was never comparable. Manchester City had already had great players who'd won the league at this point. So it's all very good getting, you know, last-minute winners and stuff like that. But City were already versed in this. I know Guardiola had it in his first league title, but City already had Vincent Kompany and so on, who'd done all that before. So it was never the same. Arsenal, just they're not used to it. It takes a lot to do it. And it is, and it's not a surprise that they crumbled. And ultimately, they're going to finish the table on, you know, max, 84 points. That is not good enough to win the league. Look, I'm not going to defend Gary Neville because I can't be bothered, but Gary Neville was saying on the overlap that City could end up probably winning this league by about 10 points. And this was months ago he was saying. He thinks Arsenal will crumble. He's probably going to be right. City will probably end up being on 88, 90. We'll finish on 90 plus points. I wouldn't be surprised if it's around 10 points that we win the league by in the end. Arsenal have already got themselves to blame. They've got Wolves in the last game of the season. Oh, they'll probably drop some points there. Honestly, this City side are absolutely immense. In terms of the winning squads, JM, I don't know where we rank. 17, 18, the most electric. 18, 19, maybe the most complete for me. But this one could beat them all because they're so defensively stubborn and so defensively incredible. But then when you've got David Silva, Pete David Silva and De Bruyne trying to feed Sane and Sterling in behind with Aguero, I don't know how they would deal with it. But what I do know is that I've watched Ake, Akanji and Walker and co deal with Vinicius Jr. and Sane and Coman and Gnabry and Rodrigo and Benzema and fucking all these other great players. So maybe they could deal with it. I don't know. But what I do know is if we do this treble, it's our greatest ever Manchester City side by default. You know, I think we're in a greatest Manchester City era, full stop, and it's ridiculous, mate. It's ridiculous that we're getting to argue this full stop. Oh, thank you so much, Bastian. Bastian Hausman said, mate, you make great content and a true City fan. Keep up the great work and hopefully until the FA Cup final, let's make some history. Thank you so much, Bastian. I really appreciate it, mate. I try my best to make good content for you guys, and I can only apologise once again for not going live last night. Seriously, I never thought we were going to win the league last night. And Nicola was away in the hen do. It was the first time I'd put Ruben to bed on my own, and I was very aware that if he got unsettled, I wasn't there. I can't breastfeed him because I am not a woman. So you could try, but not much is going to happen, I'll be honest. So I thought I can't disturb him. I don't want to disturb the little man because he would get upset and mummy wouldn't be there to upset him. So sorry once again, everyone. I didn't go live last night. I just felt really bad for you for not doing it, and also for the little guy. Family came in front. Bastian, you're a legend, and I'm glad you appreciate the content, mate. Thank you so much. So basically, I put the family first last night. As a good dad I am. I had to do it for the little guy. The little guy, by the way, he's got one of these kits coming. He's got one coming. Ruben's got one coming. I might have to get a mini Premier League Champions trophy on his arm. You know. By the way, next season, how nice would it be to have the little badge there, a little badge there, a little badge there? Oh, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Absolutely wonderful. But once again, Manchester City are champions, and it just feels fucking great. Like, it does. I can't wait to be there today. I mean, it was an underwhelming celebration for me. You know, like, I was just sat there, minding my own business at home. But today, I'll be there, and all I can see out my window is blue skies. And I'm on BBC Radio Manchester today, by the way, which I can't wait. I'm sat along next to Mike Minay and Jim Whitley, ex-Man City player. And I'm going to be chatting before the game, half-time and full-time, about this glorious Manchester City side live at the Etihad Stadium on BBC Manchester. Do you know what? I'm actually just going to... That's just actually something for me personally. Do you know what I used to do? I used to get in the car after a game and before a game with my dad driving to games, and we'd put on BBC Manchester and we'd listen to the phone-ins, we'd listen to the pundits before and after the game. Today, I will be doing that on the day that Manchester City are crowned Premier League champions, and I can't fucking wait. Thank you to all of you guys who've made this possible for me, and it is entirely down to you guys. If you didn't watch these videos, I wouldn't get these opportunities. So thank you very, very much for being so supportive and being so wonderful and being here for another season. And I mean that, you know. And I know there's so many other great Manchester City channels these days. There wasn't 2 or 3 years ago, but there's content everywhere. Yeah, time and time again, so many of you guys come back and watch the videos, and it means a lot to me to be able to carry on doing this, what I do, and chat to you guys every single day. It's the best. It's the best, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, Anthony, for example, since Blue Moon Rising days, and it really means a lot. So many of you could have got really bored of me by now, but I don't know. I'm not bored of chatting to you. I'm not bored of chatting to you at all. Thank you, is what I will say. Thank you so much. And yes, there will be a trophy lift today. There absolutely will be a trophy lift because we're champions and it's our last home game and I can't wait. And do you know what, as well? I was at the Premier League, I was at the Etihad on Thursday. And I was there doing some filming at the side of the pitch with Amos from City Report Podcast and Adam Monk, ex-Man City social guy. And we noticed all these cables, and one said, like, trophy lift. And I think it was all, like, the wiring for all the pyrotechnics. And I was like, I already noticed they were planning it just in case, which was really nice. So it's absolutely going to happen. Yeah, so it's absolutely going to happen. Thank you, Christian. Champions League heartbreak, COVID and everything. Thank you very much, mate. There's lots of great content creators, so I'm glad you feel that way. I am going to be there. Yeah, I'm live on BBC Manchester today from inside the Etihad Minty, and I can't wait, mate. It's going to be a wonderful day. It's going to be beers everywhere. People are going to be drunk and singing songs, and hopefully the football's going to be good. And by the way, I did cash out my bet. I bottled it last night. I regretted it this morning, but I cashed out. I don't think Haaland's going to play much, so I bottled it, and I got 800 quid out of it. I shouldn't have got it, though, because now I feel like he's going to do it. I think he's going to start today. We're going to score about 4 goals. If he does today, fuck me. But it'll be my fault for bottling it. I got a feeling it's going to happen. I actually won. I know I shouldn't have cashed out, should I? I don't know. I bottled it. But then at the same time, £800 right now. I can't sniff at that because I'm skinning. I actually like the nerves. I put 20 quid on. Only 20 quid, so I can't deny it. He's going to score. Well, Auntie, do you know what I did? And this is the last time I'll gamble as well. I actually put £50 of the £800 winning him to score a hat-trick today, which will get me 500 quid if it happens. So that was my double weight, making myself feel better. It was 40 goals, yeah. I still don't think he's going to do it, by the way. I think instinctively. 4 goals. I don't think he's going to play against Brighton. Does anyone agree? He'll rest against Brighton. I think Alvarez will play. But yeah, Guy was saying in the chat, I actually am very happy to have this relaxed day celebration, no nerves. Should be more exciting to win it on our own, but I like knowing nothing can go wrong. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a drama fucking addict. I love it. I love the nerves. I love it. It makes me feel alive. Like, I love not knowing what's going to happen. It's just something I genuinely get off on. I fucking love it, man. I love the thrill of not knowing what's going to happen. I'm a sort of a guy who's really sensitive to spoilers as well. Like, if I see a spoiler, it just ruins everything for me. And I know it's not the same thing, but this is why I love football, because football is so unpredictable. So on a personal level, I love that drama. Like, I get why people are relaxed about it, but I love going to the Etihad, not knowing if I'm going to, witness horrifying displeasure or great joy. It's just how I am as a person, but I understand everyone's total different views on these things. Like, to me, it's addictive. It's addictive, and I love it. I genuinely love it. Does anyone else feel the same way? By the way, if Haaland gets a hat trick today, I'm gonna be fucking fuming. I'm not gonna be, but I'm gonna be buzzing. Should we go through the photos and all that kind of stuff? By the way, let's have a look at the photos. They were there, obviously. They were there celebrating, weren't they, together? I love that they knew Arsenal could probably bottle it, by the way. Grealish there looking hench as fuck. There's your man Bernardo, Nathan Ake, and Ruben celebrating away. Kyle Walker, hench as fuck again. Big Rodri. Who's that? Who's he with there? Who's that? It's not Phil, is it? Who is that? Either way, Gomez, is it Gomez? I think it might be Gomez. Yeah, it's Sergio Gomez, you're right. So I've got sun glaring on my screen, so it's hard for me to tell for a second. Yeah, there's big, Sergio again, a Premier League winner, Sergio Gomez. Congrats, mate. Lovely stuff. By the way, that's interesting, isn't it? No Cancelo coming back, which is the right thing. The right thing entirely. Absolutely the right thing. City have got the moment as well here. Do you know what? Let me play this out loud, because why not? 5, mate. You love it. We'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are... I'll stop boring you with my singing. Look how buzzing they are. Did they look bored of it? Did they look bored? I love that they knew that they could win the league. Yeah, they've made the 5 appearances, so they'll all get their trophies, medals. Sorry, bloody hell, Haaland, man. Go on, Eric. Lovely stuff. Will Carson start today? I don't think so. I think he's going to play a strong team today, by the way. Does everyone else think he'll play a strong team? My instinct, he said he's just going to play a strong team. But guys, please hit the like button, by the way, I love that they didn't trust Arsenal. Will Cancelo get a medal? He technically will get a medal, yeah. Will he want the medal? I don't know. He's earned his medal. No, he should get a medal. Let's be classy about it. Like, he's played a lot in the first half of the season. He was pivotal the first half of the season. He should get his medal. He will get his medal, And I'm happy for him. Carson will play the last game of the season. Absolutely. I think he'll play. You look at the fixtures. He isn't the reason we won, no, but he's part of the squad. You can't deny his involvement in the points early on in the season, Srivatsan. We have to give him the credit, you know. He's a part of the season. We have to be honourable, you know, because Cancelo wouldn't be honourable. So let's show him how it's done, you know. Cancelo has not been honourable. Apparently, he was moaning about Rico Lewis. You bellend, mate. Don't fucking moan about a 17-year-old. But we be the bigger person always, you know. Greg Dove with a super chat. Greg Dove, you absolute legend. Says, around New Year, there was a talk of us having lost our spark. The system didn't work. Our attack was stalling. Now no one's saying that. The genius of Pep. Exactly, Greg. Do you know what, Greg? Everyone was saying, oh, it was inevitable. Everyone was acting like this was always going to happen. I'm sorry, but we all fucking know that this was never the case. That this City side were never guaranteed to win. They weren't guaranteed to win. It was very much a case where they had to, you know, really dig within themselves to get this. And this is entirely down to Guardiola refocusing this squad. Like, people can turn around and go, how can you compete with Man City? This City side were a fucking shambles, and everyone was saying they were off it. And they were a shambles at one point, but this is entirely down to Guardiola. No one's saying that now because it ain't true anymore. And it's great. I would give him a medal because I think he earned it. I think always in general. I get why you'd say that, guy, but we're football fans, mate, so we're emotional. He's got to get one anyway. He's going to get one. And the saltiness. By the way, I got a Liverpool fan last night DMing me saying, where's it gone? Let me read this DM. It's hilarious, mate. Like, I was thinking, this is on your mind. Where has it gone? How do you feel that no matter how many titles you win, you'll never have the fans that your biggest rivals will have? For one, Liverpool fan, I thought that we weren't rivals. Two, you were DMing me that at midnight. At midnight, mate. What were you doing on a Saturday night to DM a Man City fan that you don't know? That, let me check, he doesn't follow, who lives in Bradford, to tell me. Like, do you know how pathetic that is? Do you know how pathetic that is? Like, fucking hell, man. It's absolutely tapped. Like, oh no, I don't do I give a flying fuck, mate? Do I give a flying fuck? All I know is I'm going to be in front of 60. I'm going to be sat there in a stadium full of 60,000 people today, celebrating with Manchester City fans being Champions League again. Do you think I give a shit if there's not 500,000 people lined up on the streets of Liverpool? No, I don't give a fuck, mate. I just don't give a fuck because I know my team and I love my team. It's like maybe we don't have a bigger fan base in Liverpool. We don't. Of course we don't. I'm not an idiot. But it's like going, oh, your family isn't perfect. How? You must hate that. Like, no, I love my family. I love my family for exactly who they are, and I always will do, and I wouldn't change the thing, you know? Like, I don't need the most money. I don't need the biggest house. I don't need a fucking shinier car. I don't need, a history of fucking great businesses behind my family, whatever. I just love my fucking family, exactly who they are and how they are. And I love my club for exactly what it is and how it is. And I wouldn't fucking change Liverpool's God knows how many Champions League trophies for Manchester City getting relegated. I wouldn't. I know that sounds mental, but growing up, I would rather watch, knowing what I know about me as a person now, I would rather that I grew up how I did. Because I know it changed me as a person. I know it made me humble. And I know it feeded into my humility as a Manchester City fan. And I know growing up, watching City struggle, it did. Yeah. Do you know what I had to do? I had to go into school as a kid and put on a brave face and pretend that I was happy. But I also had to be reasonable. And I also had to act like an adult because I was struggling. And I was getting United fans mocking me. And it definitely hurt. But I learned how to put on a brave face and be the bigger person. And because of supporting Man City. And I loved our glorious failings. And I loved our plucky spirit, man. And I loved that I look at these trophies now and it means even more to me because of that. And I love that I know pain and I'm not scared of it. And those Liverpool fans are scared of it. And United fans are. And I'm not. I can look fucking pain in the eye and be like, I'm used to you, mate. Come on. Sit on the sofa next to me. I just don't give a shit about this. I'm not. All I know is that if Manchester City still exists, I'm a happy man. It really is as simple as that. So if you take our trophies and you take us our money, you put us back down in Division 2, I am not going to care, mate. If we're playing fucking Wrexham or Stockport, I am not going to care because all I care is that badge on a blue shirt and that is my football team and I don't give a fuck if it's the Dog and Duck or the Burnabout. I don't give a shit. As long as City exists, I will exist to be there and you guys will do. And that to me is literally the only fucking thing that matters and that is what Liverpool fans They don't understand because some of them, they measure their success by their history. They measure their value by their trophies. Do you know what I measure mine by? My love of Manchester City. It's as simple as that. Is that crazy? No, I'm not fucking. We will be there exactly. That's it. You know, like, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel about it, and it's dead simple. You know. And I wouldn't give a shit, you know, if we were going up and down the league still. I wouldn't give a shit. Right now, I know how lucky I am. You know, we're lucky. Exactly. Let's see how many of those Liverpool fans, turn up in Belgrade. They won't do. Let's see where Liverpool fans would be around in League 2. They wouldn't be there. We know what ours would be. That's actually true because we've proven it. And you know what? United fans, Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, they don't know real football suffering. They don't know it. They just don't know it because they've never been there. So they can't talk about its struggles. United have not had a bad season in my lifetime. They've not. That's an actual fact. We can mock them for it. But they've never been below 6th. You know what I mean? That's not a bad... That's just... It's by their standards, but it's not a bad season. It is by their standards. But United have never fucking known it. And we laugh at them for it, rightfully so. But if we're being real for a second, they're fucking so lucky. You know what I mean? They're always in Europe. They're always fucking signing elite players. Even if they play shit, they still win more games than they lose and draw. They're lucky fuckers, but they still moan, you know, and I'm sure some of our fans will moan, and I'm sure I will moan a little bit if it happens, but I'm ready for whatever, and I love this club, and Man City are Premier League champions again, so fucking love it. Pep would love the conference. Did you see Guardiola's quotes yesterday, by the way, about how much he loved the Peterborough-Sheffield Wednesday game, how much he loves the English tier? I reckon, by the way, do you know what? I know for a fact, and a small part of me wants to see it. I know for a fact that if City got everything stripped from him, I think he would stay. Because I think he'd want to be there. And I think he'd want to see how it goes. I think he'd be like, you know what? I love this. He loves it. He loves the lower leagues. He absolutely does. He said that would not happen in Spain, Germany, Italy. Absolutely. And I guarantee you, he would stay. I really think he'd stay because I think he'd enjoy the challenge of it. I think he'd be fascinated. Don't you? Does anyone else agree, by the way? I really think he would stay, and I think he'd be mad. He'd use the academy lads. You know, we'd one or two of the senior players would stay. I think he would. I think you'd be surprised. Only for a year or two, but I think you'd be surprised. Because I think he's starting to love this club and this country. I think he'd stay. You got to read his comments. I think he fucking loves it. I think he loves this country. He does. Well, we've got the proof. We've got the proof. I don't care if he didn't, but you know what? There we go. Here's the comments. Read these comments and tell me this is a guy who's obsessed with his club. Said, sure, Sheffield versus Peterborough, 4-0, 4-0, and after extra time and penalties to be in a playoff to go to the Championship. Imagine. Can I see that in Spain? Can I see that in Germany? Can I see that in Italy? It's impossible. The crowd live on Sky. No other countries do that. They respect a lot of the top clubs, more followed than other ones. But in England, the respect for the lower division is hats off. That's why this country is special. 33,000, full and crazy after 4-0. In other countries, 4-0, no chance. It's 4-all. And after that, 4-1, 5-1, penalties. This is England. That's why it's unique. That's why it's special. And that's why I'm here a long time. I love it. I guarantee you, man, he would fucking love it. He would love it. I think he would love the challenge, especially if he's just won a treble. I bet he'd be like, do you know what? Fuck it. I've done everything I want. Let's really challenge myself because it'd be great fun. And he would smash those leagues. He would do because he'd get those academy players through and it'd be great. He loves this club. He does. He's really... Do you know what? Do you know why I think he loves it? Do you know why I think he loves England? I think football's in our blood. It is. It's in the blood everywhere else. But I think he loves... He loves the football pyramid. He loves the absolute devotion for football at every single level. And it's not like every other country here. It is at every single level. The amount of professional clubs we've got is off the fucking chain. And I think he loves the dedication. I think he loves also the humility as well. Like, you're not going to get harassed everywhere. You can sit in a restaurant in Manchester and eat away. You couldn't do that. In some other places without being harassed. And I think in general, he's a cynical fucker. He's a sarcastic fucker. He's got a very English sense of humour. He's sarcastic, he's cynical, and he's wonderful. And I think he just relates to the people here. I think he is a bit of a snide fucker, but so are we. We're moody, we're miserable, and we're sardonic. And I think that's a little bit of what Guardiola likes. You know, Here, he's just at home because he can be himself. He can be a bit grumpy. He can be great. He can enjoy the football. And do you know what? Guardiola is a purist. He's an absolute football purist. He just wants to watch Manchester City great football. And I think he finds it exciting and thrilling. And like, I reckon Guardiola, as Simple Clothing said, I reckon he'd love watching pub teams and kids teams and fucking Sunday League football. Of course he would, man. I think he would love it because ultimately football is in his blood. And all the greats, people like Guardiola, they're obsessed with football. And I honestly believe there's no country in Europe obsessed with football in the way that we are. Not throughout. And maybe there's definitely a dedication, but throughout all those tiers, nah, there isn't. It's not the same. And maybe over in other places like Brazil and whatever, and I'm not denying this football dedication, but the size of the football lore and canon in England, it is different here. It just is. It is different, and I think he enjoys that. I think he loves it, and rightfully so. He'll get his statue. Guys, Manchester City are Premier League champions. I hope you enjoyed today. I will be there at the ground today. I'm going to hang around, I think, outside for a bit, because why the fuck not? I can't wait. You know, I'm going to hang around a bit. But it's funny, by the way, that, you know, the 1-0 Forest was one of the most frustrating results of the season, but then they won us the league. Cheers, Forest. Cheers, Forest. Everyone mocked Manchester City, by the way, for drawing with Forest, and also fucking lost to them. Have some shame. Guys, I'm going to go and spend some time with the family before I head off to the Etihad in this glorious weather. I love you all loads. Champions. 3 times in a row. 1 out of 3 down. Come on, you Blues. Like, subscribe. In a bit. See you at the ground.